Good morning, students. I am Aher Alka from RBNB College, Rampur. Today we study the chapter Superposition of Waves. In this chapter, we study the laws of vibrating string. Now, laws of vibrating string. We have the formula n is equal to 1 upon twice L under root T upon M, where n is fundamental frequency. Fundamental frequency. L is vibrating length. Vibrating length. T is tension applied. Now M, it is called as linear density. Now from this we can state the different laws. The first, laws of vibrating string. Laws of vibrating string. Vibrating string. The first law of vibrating string, that is C, in this case fundamental frequency. Fundamental frequency is directly proportional to directly, or we can say that it is inversely proportional to. It is inversely proportional to. Inversely proportional to vibrating length. Vibrating length. C, n is fundamental frequency. N is fundamental frequency which is inversely proportional to vibrating length. Vibrating length where T and M are constant. Now in this case, fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to vibrating length when tension applied and mass per unit length are constant. Thus we can say that n is inversely proportional to n where T and M are constant. Now in this case, suppose we consider two cases, that is N1 L1 is equal to N2 L2, which is equal to constant. That is, we can say that NL is equal to constant. Now NL is constant, that is N is inversely proportional to vibrating length. This is the first law of vibrating length. Now the second, laws of tension. Laws of tension. Now the fundamental frequency is directly proportional to square root of tension. Fundamental frequency is directly proportional to square root of tension where L and M are constant. Where L and M are constant. That is, we can say that the fundamental frequency is directly proportional to square root of tension applied tension applied where vibrating length and mass per unit length are constant. Now if we consider the two cases, if N1, N2, N3 are the frequencies, the corresponding tensions are T1, T2, T3, etc. Then N1 divided by root T1 is equal to N2 divided by root T2 is equal to N3 divided by root T3, which is equal to constant. Therefore, N divided by root T is equal to constant. Therefore, we can say that N is equal to constant multiplied by root T. Then N is directly proportional to square root of T. Then the L and M are constant. Vibrating length and mass per unit length are constant. This is the second law of tension or second law of vibrating string. We can say it is law of tension. Now the third, the law of linear density. Now in this case, say the fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of m, where m is mass per unit length, where the T and L are constant. That is fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to mass per unit length or linear density, square root of linear density where T and L are constant. Now in this case, suppose we consider M. M is called as mass per unit length. If the tension applied and length is kept constant, then M1, suppose consider two cases, that is N1 root M1 is equal to N2 root M2. Then see, tension is constant, length is constant. If we changes the wire, then mass per unit length is changes, and we consider for two wires, M1 is the mass per unit length for first wire, M2 is mass per unit length for second wire. Therefore, N1 root M1 is equal to N2 root M2. Therefore, N root M is equal to constant. Then N is directly proportional to 1 upon root M. Thus, we can say that fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of M, where T and L are constant. Now we consider, suppose root M. Here M is called as mass per unit length. Now here we consider M is mass, it is called as linear density. We have M is mass, rho is the density, L is the length, V is the volume. Now density is equal to mass upon volume. Now here mass is equal to volume multiplied by density. Volume of the wire Here see the volume of the wire, it is pi r square L into rho. Then m is mass per unit length. M is mass per unit length, that is we can say m is equal to capital M divided by L. It is mass per unit length, that is m is equal to pi r square rho. Then n is inversely proportional to root m. N is inversely proportional to 1 upon pi r square rho. Thus, n is inversely proportional to r, n is inversely proportional to square root of rho. Thus, fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to radius of the wire and fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of density. These are the two supplementary laws. There are three laws of vibrating string. The first is fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to vibrating length where T and M are constant. Then second, it is law of tension, that is fundamental frequency is directly proportional to tension applied where L and M are constant. Vibrating length and mass per unit length are constant. The third, that is law of linear density, that is fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of m, that is fundamental frequency is inversely proportional to square root of mass per unit length where tension applied and vibrating length are constant. It can be written as n is n1 root m1 is equal to n2 root m2, n is inversely proportional to root m. Now there are supplementary cases, that is fundamental frequency, it is inversely proportional to radius of the wire. The fundamental frequency, it is inversely proportional to square root of density. Now we see the next topic, sonometer. Here we see the sonometer. The sonometer, it consists of a wooden box having the two fixed support here. Now the sonometer consists of a rectangular wooden box having holes. It contains large amount of air. While vibrating, this air produces the sound. Now a metal wire is fixed at the one end of the sonometer. Then this wire passed over these movable bridges and passed over the pulley. Another terminal of the wire is connected to the slotted weights. Now by applying tension, the wire is stretched and tension is applied here. There are two movable bridges. Due to these movable bridges, the distance between two bridges can be changes. Now there is a pulley, that at pulley, when suppose there is a tuning fork, vibrating tuning fork kept near to this box, then the wave is generated. The transverse wave is generated here and this transverse wave is like this. This transverse wave is generated between these two movable bridges. At the same time, when the frequency of vibration is exactly equal to frequency of tuning fork, the air inside the wire vibrates more, and now in this case the transverse wave travel on this string. At the bridges it is reflected back. Now the transverse wave, this is the crest of transverse wave, it is reflected back as a trough and stationary wave is formed. At resonance, that is when the frequency of tuning fork is exactly equal to frequency of the vibration, the resonance appears and the wire vibrates with maximum amplitude, the paper rider thrown down, and we can measure the distance between two movable bridges. It is vibrating length. Now the uses of sonometer. There are two uses of sonometer. The first, to determine the frequency, unknown frequency of tuning fork, and to verify the laws of vibrating string. We see the uses of sonometer. The sonometer is used for determining the unknown frequency of the tuning fork. And second, to verify the laws of vibrating string. Now in this case, we use to determine the unknown frequency by sonometer, that is, the vibrating tuning fork is kept near the sonometer, and by applying the suitable tension, the vibration, the wave is generated here, then forming a stationary wave. When the frequency of tuning fork is exactly equal to natural frequency, there is a vibration and paper rider falls down. The frequency, that is the distance between two bridges, it is vibrating length. Thus we can determine the unknown frequency of tuning fork. We can verify the laws of vibrating string, and we see it is later in next lecture. Thank you.